Our
Yes,
semester
ma'am.
got extended. Gotta.
Yes, ma'am. Gottu.
So our last working day is January
16.
16th. Previously it was December 17th. Now 4 weeks they have extended. Now our last working day is January 16th. So we have another 2 months students. So now I'm already in 2 3 classes. I'm going to complete my syllabus. You tell me what we will do in another 2 months. I want an answer from you people. Yes, what we'll do? ಏನ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ?
Discuss the ma'am previous year question paper.
That 1 week we can do.
Part B program, ma'am.
Part B program anyway in the lab we'll do. Part B program, discussion of question paper. Mate? And and see, part B program, how much ever I explain, you have to practice. You have to practice, and when you practice, you will get to know that what error you are getting. When you tell me any error, when you share your screen and when you show the error, then only then I can help you. If you are not doing, students, if you are not executing, then really I cannot do anything. That is your job. You have to do. Yes, good idea. We can solve a question paper, part B programs we can do. And ಮತ್ತೇನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು? Only 2 answers I got. What about the remaining students out of 30 students? Any suggestions? Yes, Rajesh, what is your opinion, Rajesh? What will do?
I'm revising all the lab programs.
Hmm?
Revising all the lab programs, ma'am.
Lab programs.
We can revise it once again.
And students will, once I complete the syllabus, every day we can spend a time in part B programs. You can, whatever the minor doubts, minor errors you have, if you share your screen and if you start solving the part B program, then it will be helpful. Okay, we can do that. And some of the topics, if you want revision, if you did not understand, if any of the topic, then we can do revision, and previous year question papers also we can solve. Yes, but students, I want a response in all the classes. What is happening? Whatever the questions I ask, only few Gunashekar or Gaurish or Amit, Naina, only 4 5 students they are responding. What about the remaining students? Remaining students are not responding at all. I get doubt whether all are, my students are listening me or not. So yes, students. Now, what I'll do is, so today we'll complete Part A program. In Part A program, uh, I have left some of the query. Only one. I'll share my screen and I'll show you the question so that you will understand clearly. Yes, students, you can see the screen now. Is the screen is visible, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. What is the problem statement is here we have to create a database for employee management system with the two tables, that is employee table and the designation table and employee table. In the designation table, in the question itself, they have given that it should be a static table. It should have a details, one for a designation ID, one for project manager, ID 2 for project leader, and ID 3 for engineer. So this table we have to create, and we have to create one more table, that is for employee details. There we have to add employee ID, employee name, contact number, and ID designation, and ID reporting to. Yes, student, ID designation is it is there in the first table. Here you can you have to make a reference key. In last lab I told you how to take that key as a reference key. Yes, in the last lab I told you. Now we'll start executing the queries so that you will get a clear idea. Yes, students, here I have created one form. I have created one form. In that form, I am taking the details of a employee. The details of an employee, what details I have to take? In the question only, they have given employee ID, name, contact number, employee designation ID, and ID reporting to which ID you are reporting to. That details we need to take. So I'm opening the first program. It will take some time to open, students. So here, um, so this is the first form I have taken. I'll run. Yes, students, screen is visible. No, screen is clearly visible. So for this employee form, for this employee details, I have created a MDF file, that is EMP database. In the EMP database, I have two tables, that is employee table and the designation table. The designation table, already in the question only, he has given that we have to take three fields. Means we have to take three fields, that is employee ID, the designation and the designation ID. Designation ID 1 for manager, designation ID 2 for project leader, designation ID 3 for engineer. Yes, students, and one more table, uh, the employee details table. In the employee details table, we have to take employee ID, employee name, employee contact number, employee ID, and ID reporting to. So this we have to take. So in the first form, in the form 1, I am taking the details. In the form 1, I am taking the details of ID, name, contact number, ID reporting to, and ID employee ID designation. So these things we are taking. Once I submit, that will be displayed in the database. So to display the database, I have taken a display button. Now here we are right. I have taken second form. In the second form, we are writing the query. See here, what we need to do is, first thing, see the question, students. Enter the new employee details. Yes, new employee details we have to enter. Display all the project leader in a grid. Display all the project leader in a grid, and reporting to selected project manager. If I select project manager, if I select, then see here in the design, I have taken the combo box and the text box. combo box and the text box. These two should match. If these two are matching, then it will display the result in a grid view. What result it will display, I'll run and I'll show you, students. So here, once you see the output, later I will explain the query. Employee ID 5 I'll take, because 1 I have already given. Employee name Anu, contact number, ID reporting to 1. So, sorry, designation ID 1, ID reporting to 10. Submit. So the data is submitted successfully and it will display the data. See, these many records I have inserted. So these many records I have inserted. Now, employee designation table. Here in this table, I am selecting the project manager, the designation ID. I am taking project manager and ID reporting to designation ID, project manager, and see the question. In the question, what they have given, reporting to the selected manager. Reporting to selected manager. So here, the project leader in a, we have to select a display all the project leader in a grid. So it has to display all the project leader in a grid and selected project manager. See here, I am selecting a project leader. I am selecting a project leader and the project leader, the project leader ID is what? The project leader ID is 2. So now it has to display the employee which is having a, the employee which is having a project, which is having the employee designation ID 2. It should display all the details. Now 3. See, I'll explain you once again. Here in this, what we have to do is, in a grid view, we have to display, here I have taken a text box, students. So in the text box, whichever the employee I am taking, whether if I am taking engineer, then in the grid view it should display the engineer. If I take a project leader, then it should display the project leader. Here we are identifying the project leader, engineer, and the project manager with the ID, with the designation ID. If I give the designation ID 2, then with the designation ID 2, who all are there in the database, all the details it should display. If I take a designation 3, so designation 3 is for engineer. Yes, students, you are following what I am explaining? You are understanding? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
Yes, ma'am.
So here, first you have to enter the employee details. First you have to enter the employee details. Then here you need to display the details of an employee. Details of an employee. If you select a project ID 2, a student, if you select a project ID 2, then it has to display the details of project leader. If you select a project ID 3, then it should display the details of engineer. So that query you have to write. So see here, it is here I am selecting 3, so it is displaying the details of a engineer. It is displaying the details of a engineer. And here if I select 1, then it should display the details of a employee who is having the designation ID 1. Employee who is having the designation ID 1. And if I click 2, then it should display the details of the employee who is having designation ID 2. So what query I have written is yes students, my voice is audible. Is my
Yes, ma'am.
okay. So first we need to create a form, students. So first form I have created, and to insert the query, I have written the insert query in the button, button 1. In button 1 I have written the insert query, that is the table name is employee details. So in the employee details table has employee ID, name, contact number, ID, designation ID, and ID reporting to. And the same thing we are displaying here in button. In the next button we are displaying here. Here one more button I have taken. That is clear button. Why? Because why I have taken clear button is when you run your program, you will give details of one employee. Next, if you want to give the details of second employee, every time you have to clear the each text box. So just if I click on the clear button, then all the text box will be, if it text boxes will be cleared. If it is only 1 or 2 text boxes, then we can clear the text boxes. If I have hundreds of text boxes, then I cannot sit and clear all these hundreds of text boxes. Then I have a method, that is text box dot clear. The text box ID dot clear. If I write here the employee ID, first ID here. See the design part. In the design, see this text box and text value. I went go to properties. Here I have changed the name of the text box as EID. Name of the text box as EID I have changed. So the whatever the name whatever the name will be there in the property, that name we have to use in the query. So insert employee details, EID, ename, CNO means contact number, IDD is ID designation, IDR means ID reporting to. So this using this query I have written to insert the values to the database. Now this query I have written to display the data in a grid view. To display the data in a grid view, I have written this query. I have written this query. Next, what is there in the form? In the form, here I have a employee designation. So here, why I have taken this button is to link from one form to the other form. So this button I have taken. What is the query? What is the code we have to write is form 2. Form 2 is nothing but a name of the form. What is this form? What this line shows? What this line tells students? By seeing this line, what you understand? ಏನು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? I'm asking, by seeing this line, what you're understanding. This is the simple thing. When we have a new keyword, then this means we have created an object. So this form is an object of form 2. Form is an object of form 2. Means what I am telling to this button is, when I click on you, when I click on that button, then it should show this form 2. It should show this form 2. So in form 2, what we have written, I have taken a combo box. I have taken a combo box. Hey students, when I run the program, you can see the drop down list in the combo box. How we can do that? Already I explained in the lab. Once again, I am repeating here. Right click on the triangle button of the combo box. Here I have already done. I'll take one more combo box. I'll show you students. Where is the combo box? See students, generally when we take a combo box, what is the aim of the combo box is, it should display the drop down list. It should contain the drop down list. How from where it will take the data? Definitely it will take, either we have to insert in the code, or we have to link to the table, so that from that table it will fetch the data. Now here the designation name. Sorry students, this is designation name, not designation ID. Designation name. So here, when I run the program, not only in this program, in whatever the program, when you take a combo box, that means it should the combo box, the use of the combo box, to show the drop down list. So how it should take the drop down list? It can take either from the coding. I have to write the code to display the values in the combo box, or I have to link with the database, so that from the database it can take. So how to do that? I'll show you the steps of linking the combo box with the database students. So click on the triangle button. Click on the triangle button. Go to add item. Sorry. Use data bound items. Use data bound items. See, you can see the difference. Still I have not connected with any of the database, so it is taking none. But here when you see this this combo box, already I have done. So here some data you are able to see, correct? No, because I have already appended with a table. This combo box I have attached with the table. So here still I have not done, because just now I have taken this. So I am explaining the steps to append or to link the combo box and the database or the table. So right click on the triangle button, right click on the triangle button, click on use data bound items. When you click there, the data source, it will be initially the data source will be null. So now add project data source, database, next. Here you can select the database. Here employee database I have. So employee DB it will take. So if you want to know the connection string, you can see students. If you open this connection string, it will be having the same connection string which we are fetching from the server explorer. Getting? So next, it is retrieving the data. Now click on tables. Click on table. Click on the triangle button of the table. And here what I need, ಏನು ಬೇಕು ನಮಗಲ್ಲಿ? Designation name. So designation name is present in which table? Designation table. So I want designation. I want designation. Click on finish. Click on finish. Now the display member designation, display member designation. Now I'll run this. See here. Banta, ella details. Yes, students, you got all the details. Yes, you understood how we are appending the combo box with the database. Yes. Understood. So here, going to form 2. I'll explain you the form 2 source code. In the form 2, how it is displaying, how it is displaying the data in the grid view. Yes, see here, students. Here, I have not taken any button here. Here, I have not taken any button. Here, when you see the form, here I have taken the text box. In this text box, what which ID I am taking, which designation ID I am taking. With respect to that designation ID, it is displaying the details. It is displaying the details. So see here, see the code. If the combo box text is equal to manager, then manager means what is the designation ID? What is the designation ID for manager? What is the designation ID manager ke? 1. Response students. 1. That is, if it is the project manager is, if the combo box 1 text is manager, then it should display the details of employee ID, employee name, contact number, ID reporting to, and ID designation. Where it should display? It should display in a grid view. It should display in a grid view. And the second condition is project leader. Else, first condition is project manager. Second condition is project leader. The third condition is engineer. If not project engineer, if not project engineer, if not project leader, then the third case is engineer. So it should display the details of engineer. So here I am selecting 1. So it will display the details of 1. If I select 3, it is displaying the details of 3. If I select 2, it is displaying the details of designation ID 2. Now here I have taken button to go back to the previous form. So it is going to the previous form. Employee details form. Yes, students, this first program queries I have already sent in the GCR. you take the code from the GCR and you try to execute this first program. You try to execute this first program, students. So second program, I explained you, we have created a form for second program, but for second program, I told you, you have to do a subject allocation with lecture name. I told you have to try. If you are not able to try in the next lab, I'll tell you like that. I told in the last class, but nobody responded whether you got the query or not. Nobody informed me till now. Yes, students, you got the query? Got the query? Respond now. You should tell me whether you got the query or not. You have to tell me what is your status. You are able to execute or you are not able to execute. So here what we have to do is, in the second program, select we have to create a database for lectures to subject allocation. So take three tables. That is first table for subject, second table for lecturer, and the third table is for lecturer and the subject. And create a three tables in the database. And first you have to enter the new details of a subject, and next enter the new details of a lecturer. And the third query is subject allocation with a lecture name, subject allocation with the lecture name in a combo box. So from a combo box, in a combo box, we have to select a lecture name, and and subjects to be allocated in the grid view with a checkbox. So in the grid view, we have to allocate the in the grid view we have to allocate the subject, and in the grid view we have to include a checkbox. In the grid view, we have to include a checkbox. So that program is not here, student. Okay, I'll create the form quickly. See, creation of a form will not take much time, students. Even creation of a form, creation of table will not take much time. The query only you have to write very carefully. So PR2, so program 2 or project 2, I'll create. So quickly I'll design the forms. Yes, students, again I'm telling how many times I explain, and though I give the query, complete query, if I give, unless and until you practice, you will not get the output, students. You will not get the output. So first I'll create a database, that is LSA. I think this database is already there. I'll check in the Server Explorer. No, this database is not there. So I'll create a database. So quickly I'll finish the creation of a database. If you have any doubt, lecture subject allocation. Okay, yes, create. So the MDF file is created. So quickly insert the tables, the subject table, subject ID, subject code, and subject name. Sub ID, that is integer, sub name, sorry, subcode, subject code, nchar, not allow null, subject name. Hey, students, if you are not following, if you have any doubt, you please stop me and you can ask me any questions. That is subject table. This is subject table. Okay, and set up primary key for this subject table. Save the subject table. create a one more table, that is lecturer table. The lecturer table, lecture ID, lecture name, contact number. Lecture ID, integer, lecture name, nchar, lecture contact, CNO I'll write, contact number, nchar, and lecture ID, lecture name, contact number, after. So set this lecture ID as a primary key, save the file, lecture, and create a one more table. So that is subject, lecture subject table, that is ID subject, subject code, ID lecture, ID subject, the same field I'll take whatever I have taken, sub ID, sub ID, sub ID. Yes, students, I have done this 10 times. So quick, easily I will not face any difficulty. Quickly I can create a form, I can create database. Like this also, you should also become perfect. So because in external exam, in 3 hours you have to complete part A and part B, both you have to complete. So we'll not give any extra time. If you practice, only then you are able to do it quickly. Lecture, subject code, lecture ID, subject code, lecture ID, LEC ID, LEC ID. Lecture ID is integer. Yes, integer. So this subject ID is a reference key. So go to relationship. First you save the file, students. So this is what is the file, table name, lecture subjects, LEC I'll give, lecture subject. So this is a table name. So select the field, click on relationship. So we are creating a relationship between uh, so subject. So go to tables and columns. Already I explained the procedure, students, so I am going quickly. So here subject ID, I have to take a subject ID primary key from the subject table, and subject ID is a reference key in a lecture subject table. Subject ID, subject ID. You understood? See here, from which table you are taking a primary key. From subject table, I am taking a primary key. To which table you are referring as a foreign key? To lecture subject table, this subject ID I am referring as a foreign key. Close. And next, lecture ID. Lecture ID. So lecture ID from lecture table. Lecture ID. So lecture subject table. So that so add new diagram. So we are combining all the students. You can see the if this See, if you put your mouse pointer on the line, you can see the relationship foreign key, lecture subject and lecture table. So the relationship has happened. So now the database, we have done with the database. Now we have to create a form. So I'll subject details and the lecturer details. So I have to create two forms. First is for subject details. Toolbox, label, where I have label only there. So label 1, label 2. In first table, subject ID ಇದೆ, subject code ಇದೆ, subject name ಇದೆ. Okay. Label 3. Subject ID, subject code, and subject name. Students, already this I have done in this system. In this system, I don't have the data project, so that's why again I'm creating insert button. I'll take one more button, students, to go to the next page, to go to the next form, and I'll take one more button to clear the form. Here, and the third button is for, this is for subject lecturer details. Correct? Understood? Understood, students? Why I am fast is already I have done these things in the previous classes. One, two, three text boxes I need. Yes, students, I'm copying the connection string. The steps you already know. The connection string is not copied properly. Copy the connection string and paste here. Here we'll use at, because at this place the data is present. So here I'll change it to text box 1, text box 2, text box 3. Form 1, only 3 text boxes. You have to check with the table name, students. This code I have copied. So I have to check the in which table. In the subject table I'm inserting. So the subject table is check with the server explorer. Subject table, values text box 1, text box 2. Build the project. So run. So subject ID 1, subject code 18 MCA 51, subject name .NET, insert records inserted, clear. Oh yes, for clear still I have not written the code. Lecture details. So here I have given the link for the next form, but still I have not created a next form, so it is not going. So one button is working properly, working fine. Next, we have to create a form for a I have created a form for a lecturer subject. Now next form I have to create, students. That next form is for lecturer. So before I create a next form, first I'll write the code for clear button. That is text box 1 dot clear text box 2 dot clear Xbox 3 dot here subject ID 2, subject code 18 MCA 133 BMS insert. Okay, clear. So the data will be clear. So clear button is also working. So next we have to create a link, create a form for the lecturer details. Yes, I'll stop here, students. The next we'll do it in the next lab. The remaining things we'll do in the next lab. Yes, students, part B program, the procedure I have repeated so many times. So now you should not have any doubt, because creation of a database, creation of a form, everything so many times I have repeated. Answer your attendance. Aditya. Aditya. Ajay. Antima. Amit.
Present, ma'am.
Amit. Antima.
Present, ma'am.
Apurva.
Present, ma'am.
Apurva, you understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Ashwini.
Yes, ma'am.
Ashwini, you started doing the forms.
Yes, ma'am. I'm doing.
If you get any doubts, you tell me.
Okay, ma'am.
Any errors also you can ask me. Bindu. Bindu. Divyesh. Bindu last class also she did not attend. Divyesh. Gautami. Gautami.
Ma'am Gaurish.
Present, ma'am.
Gaurish. Gaurish.
Yes, ma'am.
Gunashekar. Okay, Gunashekar. Harini.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Surya.
Present, ma'am.
Nayana.
Present, ma'am.
Nazma.
Present, ma'am.
Nidhi. Nidhi. Pradeep.
Yes, ma'am.
Rajesh.
Present, ma'am. Present, ma'am.
Sahadev.
Ma'am, 20.
ಯಾವ್ದು ಮಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಪ್ರೀತಿ ಓಕೆ ಸಾರಿ ಪ್ರೀತಿ
Present, ma'am.
ಸಹದೇವ್ ಸಾಕೇತ್
Present, ma'am.
why absent last class see last 3 classes continuously you are absent Saket
Ma'am, I had interviews, ma'am.
huh
I had interview.
ಸಂತೋಷ್
Present, ma'am.
ಸೀಮಾ
Yes, ma'am.
ಸಂತೋಷ್ ಯಾಕೆ ನಿನ್ನೆ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಸಿಂಚನ
Present, ma'am.
ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ yesterday also she did not attend ಶಶಾಂಕ್
Present, ma'am.
ವರ್ಷಾ
Present, ma'am.
ಯಶಸ್ವಿನಿ
Present, ma'am.
ವರ್ಷಾ yesterday absent
Yes, ma'am.
ಅಮೃತ
Present, ma'am.
ಅನುಷಾ ಅನುಷಾ ಅಪೂರ್ವ ಅಪೂರ್ವ
Present, ma'am.
ಸಾಯಿ ಸಿದ್ಧಾರ್ಥ್
Yes, ma'am.
ಯಾಕೆ ನೆನ್ನೆ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಸಾಯಿ ಸಿದ್ಧಾರ್ಥ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ 2 ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಯು ಡಿಂಟ್ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಒಂದಿನ ಬರ್ತೀಯಾ 2 ದಿನ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಟಾಪ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಡೆಸ್ಕ್ಟಾಪ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ರೀಸನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀಯಾ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ಸ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಚೇತನಾ
Present, ma'am.
ಕಾವ್ಯ ಕಾವ್ಯ yesterday also you did not attend ಕಾವ್ಯ ಮಧುಶ್ರೀ ಮಧು ಮನೀಶ್
Present, ma'am.
ಸರ್ಫರಾಜ್ ಮುರುಗೇಶ್ ಸರ್ಫರಾಜ್ is not there ಮುರುಗೇಶ್ is there ಮುರುಗೇಶ್ is not there ಮಣಿ
Present, ma'am.
ಪರೇಶ್
Present, ma'am.
ಪೂಜಾ
Present, ma'am.
ಪ್ರಶಾಂತ್
Present, ma'am.
ಪ್ರತಿಭಾ
Present, ma'am.
ಪ್ರತೀಕ್
Present, ma'am.
ಸಾಧನಾ
Present, ma'am.
why yesterday absent again
I was in a college, ma'am, yesterday.
ಶಶಾಂಕ್
Present, ma'am.
Shashank also yesterday absent. Shraddha,
Ma'am, yesterday present, ma'am.
present.
ma'am.
One ನಿಮಿಷ ಇರು
Yes, ma'am.
ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ. Yes, present yesterday. Sridhar. Sridhar. Sridhar is not there.
Present, ma'am.
Tanuj.
Present, ma'am.
Tejaswini.
Present.
Umehani. Umehani.
Present, ma'am.
Ashish.
Present, ma'am.
Vidya.
Present, ma'am.
Vishal.
Present, ma'am.
Aditya absent. Ajay absent. Amit.
Yes,
Amit.
ma'am.
Okay. Bindu absent. Divyesh absent. Nidhi. Nidhi absent. Spurti absent. Anusha is there? Anusha. Anusha absent. Kavya absent. Sarfraz. Murgesh absent. Okay, students, I'll stop here. See you in the next class.